So what we're going to talk about today is hiring. So I know this question comes up a lot in pretty much every single person that we have worked with over the last few years. And I'll tell you this, I personally have learned a ton over the last half decade of being in business on hiring. I'm going to give you a synopsis of just some concepts that you can apply into your process right now on why it's important to do this the right way, where I went wrong in doing this, and this way you don't make, the same mistakes. Let me just start this off with, by the end of this video, you're going to understand the concepts and how to hire. This way you don't make the same mistakes I made that can cost you millions of dollars, but at the same time, you're going to at least know golden rules. I used to believe that you want to be able to hire to grow. And I think that was the big problem, is you shouldn't hire to grow. You should let growth force you to hire. Here are the benefits to doing this, okay? Now, the benefits are going to be your profit will always be higher, giving you more flexibility to hire better talent. Okay, at the same time, you'll also be able to focus more on streamlining systems before you keep hiring more people. Because a lot of time when you get to the point when you are letting growth force you to hire, you're basically pushing up against your threshold of bandwidth that you and the team have in order to accomplish what it is you're doing for your clients. There's a pro to that though, because what I used to believe before is you want to hire when you hit roughly 75% of your capacity of your bandwidth per player, and then you hire for the next role. And I used to believe that that was the way to do it. What's great about that is, everybody will constantly have a lot of space, which is obviously very important as well. But what's more important than that is cash flow. What's more important than that is the team's ability to systemize and streamline and create SOPs. Okay, that's the only thing more important than innovation at the earlier stages of business. When I say earlier stages of business, I'm talking under $10 million a year. So this way you can look through every position, and when people are working up against their threshold, which is their bandwidth of time, of how much time they have in a day to execute something, they're getting really stressed out now because they have so many things that they're doing, because maybe you took on a ton of clients. There's a lot of different things happening in their emotional state because they're doing so much in the workplace. Maybe they're even context switching from doing account management to doing tech to doing all these other things, right? What you want to do is to be able to find out, okay, within what everybody is doing, everyone's getting pushing up against their threshold of bandwidth. So instead of hiring another position, what you want to do first is to sit with everybody, list out everything they're doing, then map it out in an Asana board, how they do each thing. And if you have an actual flow of how everything is done, it helps because now you can streamline the activity in which that they are doing those things, and you typically don't have to hire another person. You're actually going to help them acquire more bandwidth through streamlining their activity and prioritizing those activities on their calendar to dedicate certain time blocks throughout the day to execute those things. Okay, at which point now you don't have to hire somebody else because now that person has more bandwidth. So I'll tell you what happened with me initially. Whenever I believed that you should hire at 75% of capacity, what ended up happening was we had the golden handcuffs on us, where we were doing millions of dollars a year and so much money was going out to labor far beyond the necessary KPI on our P&L that we want to have in order to sustain a really healthy business with really healthy profit. We ended up not being able to manage everybody's performance very well, not streamlining systems, and everybody was kind of hopping from one position to the next. So what I've come to learn is that cash truly is king, and if you want to be able to hire even better talent because you have better cash flow, which means you have to pay out more, you need to systemize every position instead of just hiring somebody to figure that out. When people feel overwhelmed, sit down with them one-on-one, look at their calendar, figure out where all the time is going and how they're allocating their time to execute the current things they're doing, and then figure out how you can systemize the activity that they're doing into a project management board so you can see the step-by-steps of how to do everything. This way you know if you need to hire somebody, it's easy to duplicate their level of efficiency. And then from there, you're going to organize their calendar so they can dedicate certain time blocks to executing that new systemized efficiency, thus giving them more bandwidth back and less anxiety from the context switching. Okay, this is how you're going to be able to let the growth force you to hire, and maybe you'll realize at that point in time you don't need to hire somebody else because now those players have acquired more bandwidth without increasing any fixed costs, allowing you to hire more, or bring on more clients. That is scale, okay? Increasing revenue without increasing fixed costs. So this is how, these are my mistakes and what I've learned from the hiring process and what it looks like to let growth force you to hire instead of trying to hire for growth. Hopefully this is helpful to you. If it was, we'll put a link around this video where you could, we can talk to you a little bit more about how to do this for your business. And obviously like the video and leave some comments below of what your takeaways were. But kick some ass this week, and I'll see you on the next one.